Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 19th of April. So looking at the euro dollar as ever first, I don't know really why so much this morning actually, because it's talk about consolidated. It's just yesterday was pretty much, well, very much an inside bar, and today it lacks any sign of direction at all at the moment. So as much as I'd like to have seen this push on yesterday and move further south, it never happened. This morning, well, it's anyone's guess which way it could be going, and I think it's the way it's running at the moment. We'd best to let it show us the route. So there we go. That's with the euro. If it does start running up, well, resistance around yesterday's. That wasn't yesterday's at all. Tuesday's highs there into the R1 area. Support, well, the bodies of yesterday, we didn't manage to actually get too far away from where we are at the moment. The previous lows was into the S1. Well, that 200 may be a more significant point of support there. Maybe yesterday's lows, but certainly at 200, but there's not a lot of profit in it if it does start moving. Okay, the pound. Now the pound this morning got retail sales coming out at 9:30, so something to bear in mind. At the moment it's bearish pivot swing on the dailies. To me it's probably like it could have potentially more downside. It broke the original 4-hourly trend, or the trend it was sort of sitting in that shorter term. Daily wise it's not, it's still in an upward trend from that perspective. So but from a sort of more intermediate time frame, it's really broken trend, and well, we've got lower highs coming in, lower lows. Now today, well, we do have a daily pivot above us. If the retail sales came out particularly bullish, well, perhaps we could see that reached quite easily, but it may be as simple as watching for a break post 9:30. This is a break of the lows there. I mean, if it goes a bit earlier, which is possible, well, just have to wait until that news comes out. But it's certainly got the potential to push on south there. Okay, that's the pound, dollar yen. Dollar yen, well, it broken the trend line there. Looked like it may have continued to the downside yesterday. Didn't really do too much, that continuation there, and we've pushed up again this morning. Momentum still sitting there to a degree. Price wise from here, we've got potential, well, it's higher lows, higher highs on this 4-hourly picture, and maybe we've still got the potential for some further upside here now. Throughout yesterday it was selling off, but changed late afternoon there. We saw changes coming through these markets, and it's pretty much changed and confirmed more of a potential, I think, now for further upside potentially. I'm just checking here actually, a little caveat to that: if it breaks these current lows, well, there's a daily pivot untouched below, but it was air kiss, so possibly not a good statistical trade as normal, but there is the potential for it to run down to that way. Okay, that's dollar yen. Aussie dollar news came out early hours this morning, and unemployment figures weren't as good as expected. It didn't stop it running into its more near-term trend line. It's broken that previous one now again. I think I should really just remove that. It's now sitting there across, and it's just sort of run into that point and found a bit of resistance at this nearer term trend line. From here, well, again, it's the choppiness of this week's market is just untradeable for me. It's got the potential again. Still got an untouched weekly pivot, but I'm not really drawn to that. I'm not drawn to anything too much on the Aussie. I think it's a difficult one to trade. I shall leave that one alone for now. Canadian dollar. One thing I'd say about the Aussie dollar there, bearing in mind the rather soft news, it hasn't really done too much, hasn't sold off that much from it. Canadian dollar, well, there is a on the RSI wise, there's a marginal divergence at the lows here. It did on the dailies, it did run up, catch the weekly pivot yesterday. May see a bit more upside. There's a trend line coming down here. I haven't extended it, but it may just run into that trend line, the daily 21. Certainly from the picture we're looking at here, it does look like it may have a bit more upside there. Now, yep, certainly does look like it may have a little bit more upside. Obviously, rates weren't changed yesterday, and outlook not so bullish. So, as I say, we could see a bit more of a correction from this overall point here. It's just come short of the pivot. It may be watching for the break of the trend line cutting across. Let me just draw that on there for the long side there, just for a bit more confirmation. But price wise at the moment, lower highs, lower lows, but got a bit of support around these 60-21s. Maybe want to tick off the pivot, but if it doesn't, starts pushing upwards, well, we could be seeing back into that weekly pivot, maybe more. Okay, finally that's it. So that's pretty much it. There is some light news otherwise outside of retail sales today. What we got the well, it's very light news really. Got some speakers coming in at 2:30, starting from 2:30 this afternoon. Due to FOMC member due to testify on supervision and regulation. So yep, got some speakers coming through. That's pretty much it for now. Have a great day. Bye for now.